Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today we're going to do something different. We're going to make a carrot wreath. I know that Easter is coming up and it's time to start getting ready. Sarah from the Wreath shop contacted me and said, "Can you make a carrot out of this Christmas tree frame?" Of course I can, and I did. So you can get this frame from the Wreath shop. The link is in the description box below. It's only $3.50. What a deal. So let's get started. So welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. We are going to attempt to make a carrot. A few years ago, I had a carrot tutorial up here on YouTube. Sadly, to me, it's not a very good video. Some of you guys still watch it, and thank you. What happened was I made this video 2 years ago at least, and we had a snowstorm. And so it was a Facebook Live, and back then I didn't know how to edit videos. So I would make a Facebook Live and I would upload it to YouTube, and the streaming and recording for that was not very good. It was a little blurry. But you guys still watched it, so I appreciate it. So we're gonna attempt to do another carrot. We're gonna do a different method. We're gonna use these wreath frames that I got from the Wreath shop. It's like a 3D Christmas tree wreath frame, okay? And they do have them at the Wreath shop. I will leave links in the description box below, and so you can get this wreath frame. So, and I'm also going to be using poly burlap this time. The last time I made this, we used felt, but we're going to use poly burlap orange, 10 inches long, and probably 2 colors for the leaves. I'm not positive. We're playing this by ear. We're going to see how it goes. I'm sure I'm going to need a few extra things to finish this off, but this is what's going to get us started. We're also going to use some plastic canvas mesh. So what is the first step that we're going to do? Okay, so the first step, what I want you to do is I want you to take your plastic mesh. I want you to flip your frame over, take a marker, and I'm going to go outside of the frame. Now, if you do it this way, then your lines aren't perfectly straight. So I kind of like to do it this way. It's just for me. If you can do it the other way, do it the other way if you want to save the mesh. You can also get this mesh at the Wreath shop as well. You can get it at like Hobby Lobby, Joann's, in like the yarn and embroidery section too. So I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm going to put that on here with some zip ties. I'm also going to cut out a piece right here for the leaves. Not sure that I'm going to use it, but I'm going to have it cut out just in case I need it. Okay, so in the opening clip, I showed you that we were going to use this poly burlap. And when I was folding it, I'm thinking, you know what, I want a little bit more texture to it. I want a little bit more deepness of the color. So what I did is I went and I saw I had some orange fabric mesh. I was going to use deco mesh, but I didn't have any. So I'm going to use this orange fabric mesh. And what this will do, we're going to fuse this together, okay? And so what it will do, let's just start this over. I'm going to pull it apart because I already cut one piece to see if I liked it. So we're going to lay one on top of the other. So the fabric mesh is over top of the poly burlap. I'm going to take my wood burner. Again, you can get these at Amazon. I will leave you a link in the description box below for the wood burner. I have a glass cutting mat. If you have a glass cutting mat, use that. Again, they're in Amazon. You could also use like a cookie sheet, something that you could, get hot would work as well. So what I want to do is I want to cut in between the lines. Now, because these lines don't match up, I'm going to focus on the poly burlap, and I'm going to go down what seems to be the line for me. It's kind of hard to see, but you can get the gist of it. So we're going to do that, and what that does is that fuses the two ends together, and so that's just going to help preserve our edges and our wreath. So I'm going to cut at 10 inches each, and I'm thinking I'm going to start off with cutting 20 petals. We'll see how many we need in the end, but again, make sure you watch the video because at the end I'm going to tell you how many petals you're going to need. Okay, so I have my mesh attached to the center of the frame. I haven't added the piece up here because I'm not really sure if I'm going to need it. So I haven't added it until I know. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of our mesh that is fused together. Again, you don't have to fuse your mesh, but this is what I'm doing. So what I want to do is called the Dean Michael daisy petal design. She came up with this, and I will share her YouTube channel down below in the description box. So what we're going to do, curl side up, we're going to fold over and make a triangle, okay? So here's how you make this daisy petal. You're just going to come up here, and we are going to gather. All right, so at this point, if it would be easy, you could take a pipe cleaner and you could make it, connect it right here, if that's what you want to do, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my chip clip, because I didn't get my zip tie ready. So let me get my zip tie ready. So I'm going to take my 8-inch zip ties, and I'm going to go right above the high point here, okay? So where it comes together, I'm going to take my zip tie, and I'm just going to put it through the canvas mesh here. And this is going to be our starting petal. I'm going to take this, I'm going to shape it a little bit, kind of look at it, and I'm just going to lay it right inside there. Okay, I'm going to clip this off. And now I'm going to make another petal, and then I'm going to kind of gauge where I need to put that petal. I'm not sure yet. As I make this, I'm kind of going along and kind of making it up as I go, I guess, is what you could say. So we're just going to make sure that folds over good. I'm going to gather. I'm going to take my little chip clip. That's what I call these. I get them at the Dollar Tree. You get like 4 of them for $1, and I love them. I think they're great. So I'm going to look here. Okay, so I think that's about a good side here. So I'm going to just do 2 petals, one here, and we're going to do one there. Okay, so we're going to put it about where this second bracket is. So what I want to do is I'm going to take another zip tie, and I want to come on the other side of this bracket. Just glue on that. So I'm going to take this apart. Again, if you want to make these ahead of time and put, you know, pipe cleaners or zip ties, you can go right ahead and do that. All right, so I'm going to cut that. So let's put another one. Grab another one of these. Grab another pipe cleaner, or those are not pipe cleaners, Julie. Those are zip ties. We are going to fold it over and make our petal. So basically what we want to do is we want to overlay these petals, and you can kind of tuck this under a little bit too. All right, and we want to cover that. You're not going to need as many petals as you might think. So it would be neat if we could use just a half a roll of each. And then, you know, you can make 2 wreaths. All right, so let's look at that. So yeah, this is what I like about doubling up the petals, because it's hiding your frame, and that's what we want to do. And this is more of a 3D look because of the frame, because this is raised. So now what I want to do is I'm going to make another petal, and I'm going to put it about right here. So we're going to put 1, 2, we're going to put 3 petals on the next line. So I'm going to put those, I'm going to show you where I put those about here. I would say that's what, about 4 inches up is where I'm going to put the next layer of petals. Okay, so I have the 2 petals here. I just want to kind of show you that I did the 2 outside petals. Now I'm going to put the inside petal in, and I'm going to make sure I stay on the same line here. So I'm going to just kind of make sure it's about centered here. Maybe put it over a little bit more. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's about right. So take your petal and make it. Sometimes I kind of turn under the side there. Just kind of turn it under a little bit to kind of help reduce the fraying. And I'm just going to add it right on top. I think this is looking really pretty. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do the 4th layer, and we're going to do at least 4 petals there. So we started off with 1, we did 2, 3, and now we're going to do 4. So what am I going to do? I'm going to, let's see, I use my cutting mat so much. I know that this might be distracting, you know, with the square in the middle, but I use this so much. I would highly recommend them. I can't tell you how many I've bought in the last 5 years, but 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here is where I want to put the next set of petals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 here, 1 here, and then I'm going to put 2 in the middle. Okay, so that's the next step. Okay, so I have my petals up until this point. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how many is that? That is, let's see, 10 petals. Okay, so now we're going to add at least 4 more petals on the top, maybe 5. So this is what we're going to do. I went ahead and I added that fabric or the canvas mesh that I told you about. And I told you to measure that out. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that on this point, I need to cover my corners. I need to cover this, and I need to cover this and this. So I need to put it in such a way that it covers both. But here's my problem here. I can't cover this and this. It leaves this out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 2 extra petals and we're going to lay it on this side and this side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and we're going to kind of make a smaller petal because I'm going to attach it right here. So I'm going to just lay this over top. See if this works. Sometimes it's just about seeing what works, okay? So I want to lay that there, and I'm going to kind of put it to the side, okay? Because we don't want too much of a top here, okay? So let's do this. 1 there. So I'm going to take my heavy duty cutters. I tried with another pair, but I have to replace the blade, and you have to do that with these. And this one, I don't know why it's not cutting that well. But this is in my Amazon shop. There's a version of this, and I really do like them. They are really nice, and I really like them. So I've got a small petal there. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I want to make sure they match. So let's do that one more time. Let's just make a smaller petal, and I'm going to kind of measure it here. I'm going to turn that one in. Is that about right? A little bit smaller. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm just going to put it right here. Okay. So you're going to go through the mesh. All right. So that's going to help us. So let's cut this. Get under it here. I don't know why it's not cutting that. Usually does. All right. So I'm going to bend that over. So let's see. I think that's all I'm going to need of these. All right. So let's see here. Now we're going to take another petal, and I want to attach it right here. So I'm going to put my zip tie in. I'm going to make my petal. And then we just want to make sure we cover everything that we're supposed to cover. All right. I can't make these petals as good as Trish from Dean Michael Design makes them. She makes them so much better. I just really think she's got the corner on the petal there. Okay, so I'm going to just put this here. And so our goal is to mimic each side, okay? I'm going to put that down. So what are we doing? We're covering what needs to be covered there. So let's do the other side. Okay, so we have the other side done. So what are we going to do? We're going to make another petal. Make our petal, and let's place it and see where we want to put it. You're probably saying, Julie, it's February. Why are you doing an Easter wreath? Because Easter is early this year, so I want you guys to be ready. Oh, that looks pretty. So we'll put one there, and we're going to put one there. So let's do this. Get my handy dandy chip clip. And I think I'm going to put this right beside the other one here. Okay. Oh, this is looking like so much fun. I'm already loving it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So one more petal will be all we need. So basically we did this with 15 petals. No, we did it with 17 petals because we did 2 little miniature petals. So technically you probably couldn't get 2 carrots. I mean, I guess you could make it a little bit smaller if you wanted to. And see, mine are even. So, you know, I don't believe in perfection. I am not a perfectionist, and I just am not there. So, you know, so what I want to do is I want to put one more petal in the middle here, right up here. And I literally cut out 17 petals. Isn't that funny? Let's see, I'm going to do it like this. So I don't have any wasted cut material. Sometimes that's what happens is I cut too many, and then I have all these extra petals here. So I'm going to just lay that right on top. And now we're going to figure out how to add the green mesh. So give me a few minutes. I got to figure this one out. Remember how in the beginning I said sometimes I don't know what I'm doing until I get there? This is one of those times, guys. One of those times. In the beginning of this video, I said we're going to use this green mesh. And now I'm not going to use mesh. If you want to use mesh to make some leaves, go watch. I will leave the link for the original video that I did 2 years ago. It's a different technique, but I did use mesh for the leaves. So if you want to do the mesh, you can go watch that video. But what I'm going to do is I get this boxwood, I believe it's, yeah, boxwood picks at Walmart. I believe that these are 97 cents a piece, and I feel like you get quite a bit for 97 cents. If they're $2, I'm sorry, but I think they're 97 cents, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to, we're going to use this as our, you know, our leaves, so to speak, for our carrot. So as you can see, I'm just going to run it underneath, and what we're going to do is we are going to attach it with a zip tie, okay? So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to pull it over and take one of my zip ties here. I could really use the smaller zip ties, and I'm going to attach it. So there's one. So you know what? I probably could get it in here too if I put my hand through a certain petal. Yeah, I can go underneath there. And you don't have to cut anything. So there's one. Okay, so that's 97 cents. Or use any kind of greenery that you like. Maybe you have some left over. Maybe you found some at the Dollar Tree you really like. Do that, okay? So I want to just kind of bend this one over a little bit. So now I want to do the same thing on the opposite side. So basically with this wreath, I want to mirror what I'm doing. So if I do one side, I do the other side, okay? So I'm just gonna, again, put this through. I'm gonna bring it down. And then this way the leaves are covering our little zip ties too, and I really like that. So I'm just gonna kind of pull that out, flip it over, and at this point, I can just go like this. And go underneath the other one. There's one. I'll get the smaller ones. I don't need to use the 8-inch ones for that. That's 2. So I'm thinking we're gonna need at least 4. Yeah, I think 4 is gonna be just enough. I think that'll be really pretty. So I'm gonna go down that side here now. And then we're gonna go take the other one and go down here. I'm gonna pull it down. All right, and if you don't want to do a bow, I'm gonna do a little simple bow. But what you could also do is just move these around and make sure that your zip ties are covered up. I'm going to connect these to this, and then I'll be right back, and we will put a bow on this and a backing on this. Okay, so before I get to the bow, I know I said I was going to do the bow, but you know, it's Julie. She changes her mind. I'm going to cut some pieces here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these down with a little bit of glue and just kind of fill in a few, because I don't feel like we need a whole branch, but we just need a little bit. So I'm going to use my cordless glue gun. I love that. So, okay. So that covers it up so that we don't have to count on the bow to cover anything up, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to put it under here and it'll be just fine. All right. Yep. I just needed two little things, and you could even put some underneath there to kind of, you know, if you want a fuller look, you could do that too. And if you wanted to add more, add more. So either way, that looks great. Okay, so now we're going to add a bow. I wanted to use this burlap ribbon that you can get this at the Wreath shop, and you can get it also at Hobby Lobby too. So, got to get the little sticky things out there. But I only have a little bit left. So, and I just want a very simple bow. I don't want anything too grand. I know that some of you guys can make some amazing bows. If you want to put a big bow on, you go right ahead. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple, okay? That's who I am. So I'm going to start off with a tail of about 10 inches, and I'm going to make a gather there. And then I want the, I want to do these in about 12 inches long. So again, I'm going to use there's 12. I want 6-inch loops, so you're going to do 12-inch stretches. So just one. Something just fell over here. Sorry about that. And then we're going to do another one. But when we do this one, we need to twist our ribbon. Okay, so we're going to bring it around. Let's see. I don't know. Does that look too big? I don't know. I think that's pretty good. Okay. So we're just going to do that. Make sure that everything is showing the right way. I'm going to cut another, 10 inches. I think that's good. Take my wire. And I use the wire because it goes through the mesh so much easier than if I was to use a like pipe cleaner. So to cover my wire, that's not quite tight enough, Julie. Okay. All right, now it's tight enough. I want to keep this pretty rustic, and if you want to use some raffia, that would be pretty too. And I think adding a couple of ribbons and layers would be really pretty. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to take some jute here. I'm going to cut it. And I'm just going to wrap it. And I think I did this in a video. Yeah, my boho or farmhouse, whatever you want to call it. Depends on your take. My yarn and beaded wreath. I'll leave that link down below too. And I'm just going to wrap it to kind of give it some more kind of rustic feel here. Okay. Here, I'm going to wrap this side too. All right. So I got that. I'm going to just make a little knot here. And you could do all sorts of things, you know, to make it look really pretty and add, you know, other embellishments. But I just wanted to have a basic flower technique, or not flower. I'm sorry, Julie, you're making a carrot. A basic carrot, okay? So I like those. I'm going to do that. Cut my little... These always are 2 different sizes every time. I'm going to dovetail these. Okay. About right there. All right. And if you want a smaller bow, then do these loops at like 10 inches and that'd make like a 5-inch bow. So I'm just going to add that to here, and I'm going to go right down in the middle here. I like to put these to the side. You could put it in the center, whatever you want to do is fine. Put the other side down. and then just twist it off. Okay, so if you watch the beginning of this video, I left out a detail that's pretty important, okay? You need to cut out, if you want to cover the back. If you don't want to cover the back, don't worry about this step. This is why it's important to watch the whole video, okay? Because Julie's going to forget a step, all right? And this is what happens. I'm not perfect. Again, I've told you that before. I forgot to outline a piece of felt to cover the back of my wreath. Now, how are we going to hang this wreath? Well, I typically like to hang it at the corners for a carrot. I like it to come out down like this. So I'm going to take this piece of felt. I'm going to lay it on top here. I ended up having to make like a pattern for this out of paper, and then I cut this out. So what I do is I get my little scissors. I got to look for them here. I have these little tiny scissors. I have these in my Amazon shop too. I will poke some holes all the way down, and then I will connect it with a zip tie. And then I just turn the zip tie underneath. Let me kind of just show you real quick. I won't go through the whole process because you don't need to see it all. But what you can do is you can make a little loop of an 8-inch zip tie if you want. I can show you that too here. Okay, and I just turn that underneath, okay? I don't glue this on, all right? So what you can do is over here, you can just make a little loop. If you want to have a loop to hang it, you could just make a loop and put that underneath, okay? And then just attach it there with another one, okay? And that can be where it hangs, or they can just hang it from the bar because there's going to be spots where this isn't attached, okay? So let's look at our carrot and let's go over what did we use, okay? So I used 1 roll of 10-inch fabric mesh, 1 roll of 10-inch poly burlap. I fused it together. I used 17 petals total, okay? We used plastic canvas mesh. I used 4 of these boxwood stems from Walmart, again, 97 cents each. You can get the frame from the Wreath shop. The link is going to be in the description box below. Whatever ribbon you want to use, put some felt on the back of it, and you have a cute little basic but cute carrot, okay? You just can't go wrong with this. So if you've made it this far in the video, I say this every time. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a carrot emoji in the comments. It is there. I checked to make sure. One time I told you guys to leave an emoji that doesn't exist. I'm so sorry. But anyways, make sure to click that notification bell, subscribe to my channel so that you can get notified when I put out a new tutorial. I try to put them out every Sunday night and Wednesday night. Sometimes I miss, but that's life, right? So join me on Facebook, Julie's Wreath Boutique. Join me in my Wreath Creators and More Facebook group. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Pinterest. You can find me on all those social medias. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.